Hey everyone, it's Rena, and today I'm in the current process of updating my outfit as well as my character. So I thought I should take you through the process, or at least show you some of the steps that I'm taking to do that. So my theme for this character is more of like a futuristic style, since, I don't know if you guys follow anything with VR and the Oculus Quest and stuff like that. Facebook is changing their name to the Meta or something like that. So they're creating their own metaverse, and I thought I should, go into the more futuristic look. So let's see what I have come up with. Okay, so this is my character thus far. I'm still currently in the process of editing my outfit, but in today's video, I want to show you how to make basically wings, and I'm gonna make the most simplified version of a wing. So just in case if you are not the best or the greatest at drawing, this should be something that is fairly easy. I mean, most of these are usually easy if you have a drawing tablet, so if you don't have one of those, it's going to make it a little bit harder, but I'm just going to show you how to do that in a different software. So let's get to that. Alright, so I brought you over into Gimp. We are going to be drawing some kind of like dragonfly kind of structured shaped wings, and I'll show you how I got that design. Basically, you can do the same thing in Vroid, but it's a little harder to do it because one, you need to have your it's just easier to draw when it's in like landscape mode, so kind of like this shape structure, and then with this software I can just rotate it back to how it needs to be. So let's get started. First of all, when I am drawing wings, I can draw really well with pen and paper, but I'm using a drawing tablet, and I never went to school for arts and design, so bear with me if I'm not the greatest at teaching you guys all the details and tricks of the trade. I'm also just as well as learning. So basically for this, I am going to go with the concept of dragonfly wings, so they're kind of just shaped like this, and then going into kind of like a structure like that. So that's kind of a base structure that I need. So when you're drawing it, you can't draw it in the middle because Vroid uses like a double layer. So you have to imagine that there's an imaginary line straight down the middle of this section. So if you're going to draw anything, you want to either draw it on one half, so you'd only draw it up here. I'm just going to erase everything. So if it helps for you to do this, you can just draw a line. Just a heads up, Gimp is completely free, or if you have Photoshop, very well use that too. This is the same thing basically. Okay, so now that we know that we're not going to cross over into the section, you're going to pick a color that you want for your base. So I have this grayish color. I'm going to shrink my brush down. Let me make this a bit of a smaller window for you guys. We are going to be going down in the sizing. I hate when I do that. Don't do that. If you do, just add it back in there. You're gonna you're gonna downsize your brush. I'm just using the basic standard black here and the paintbrush kind of texture, and then I'm just gonna draw kind of like a boomerang shape. So something like that. I'm just gonna zoom in just so it's a bit bigger. Okay, so now we have our boomerang shape. I wanted to add in some additional details to this boomerang shape. We're gonna do another black line here, and then we're gonna add another one here and another one here. and then another line here, and that, like that. Okay, so basically I just wanted it to have a little bit of like a window. It doesn't have to be perfect at this point. This is kind of our like rough draft. And then I like to kind of add an idea of where the wing will be laid out. So I'm going to go with the colored one and then kind of make a slight wing shape. Doesn't have to be perfect at this point. This is just an outline. So now that we know where that's going to be, you're going to create a new layer because you don't want everything to be in the same layer. It's going to call this details. So we're going to basically color in the areas that we want it to be black, and then in this detailed area, and then fill it in that way. So I'm going to fast forward this and I'll come back to you when that's done. So now that we filled it all in, we're just going to clean this up a bit. So I kind of want to add another layer like this, going down and connecting. I don't know, I'm not really sure what I want. Okay, so now that we have that, let's add in some more purple just to kind of give it a glow on the inside. So I just shrunk my brush size to about 2. And we want it to be kind of close to the lines here. See, I'm not that great at knowing where my mouse is. Now we're going to actually shape the wing. So we know that we want to kind of follow a similar shape. We probably should make this part go a little rounder instead of as blocky. I'm just going to change the color so you guys can see it a bit better. So I like the shape of that part, this part here. Probably just going to make it something like that instead. So if I were to erase that, it'd be kind of like this, which I hope you guys can see. Okay, so I'm going to go onto that original layer. I'm going to erase with a bigger brush this purple, and then I'm just going to stick with that new purple, and then we're going to just fill in some lines. So go back to your detailed layer. So we're going to draw that same shape, but inside we're going to cut a corner. And then you're going to basically do some different shapes with inside that wing. It doesn't have to be perfect, once again, because I mean, not every single set of wings are going to look identical. I think the more irregular the shaping, the better. If it's too structured and uniformed, I find it looks kind of funny. So basically you make like little squiggly lines. And then for the bottom part, unless you like that rounded feature, I kind of just kept the shape of the rounding, but made it a little bit lumpier. And then that's basically, you could leave it at this point, or if you want to add in more detail, you can. It will require more precision, which I don't have. So it would look like, let's say I want to add in some, let's make it a little bit smaller of a brush size. So I just zoomed in and I'm just going to fill in. And I'll come back to you when that's done. Okay, so I added a few other details off camera. So as you can see, I outlined the whole wing with a darker purple, and then I added some gray lines, like lighter gray lines in between, and I added another section up here. So that was just added from here, and I just added a new layer over down here, and I just titled additional details, and just because I wanted to see how that was going to look. Okay, so now that you have created your wing, we need to rotate this back. So if you are using Gimp like I am, I will show you how to do that. So you're going to click on images, you are going to go to transform and then rotate it. Let's go with 90 degrees clockwise, because then we need to go this way. So if I zoom out, it should look like this. So now it's on one side. I might have made this a little bit longer off camera. I can't really remember. I think I might have, and it might have been a little too long, but if anything, I can always touch it up and try it again. So that's basically our wing thus far. So now we're gonna save that, and we're gonna go over to Vroid. So for Vroid, you want to use a freehand group. I'm just gonna start over from here. Pretend that this one doesn't exist, because I was just testing it out. So you're gonna start a freehand group. You are going to want to pull your points down. Mirroring would probably be best for this point, just to make your life a bit easier, and then stretch out your points to however you would like them, how wide you want your wings to format. Try to make the points a bit even. You can even work with fewer points. It's probably smarter than sorry, hiccups. What I'm doing. Okay, so for your wings, we want them to be in the back of your avatar, obviously, because it doesn't look right if the wings are in the front. I can turn off mirroring, zoom in so I know where the points are landing. So basically you're trying to bring it as closest to the center as humanly possible. I don't know which points are which, and yeah, that looks great. I don't need it to touch her exactly, but just close enough that it is going to work. I'm going to create a new hair texture. We're gonna rename it to wings. You don't need to, I just am, just so I know what I'm working with. I'm going to load my texture up in here. Okay, so now that's in there, let us draw in our wings. So as you're drawing in your wings, you want to go down to here. You see your curve structure here, you want it to be straight. You could also just probably do flat, straight. Kind of gives you what you need. A few points to work with. Cool. Now that that's all the way at the top, so it's going to be as flat as possible, we want our width to be pretty high. And I don't really care about this part. So now I'm going to draw in, I'm going to also turn on mirroring because it just saves me a ton of work. I want my, because I'm now in draw mode, it changes the parameters here, so I'm just going to change that back, but I want it to be a 0.2. As long as this part didn't really change, you can change all these things after. And then you have to pick where you want your wings to fall. So I want them to fall like right here. I don't know why it's not displaying them. Same thing with that one. Okay, now let's see where our wings are. Ta-da! I had a feeling this was gonna happen. Okay. So I worked on one side. Oh, I know what's going on. It's taking the coloring. Okay, so now that's what it should look like. You have your wing here, and then we can just rearrange the points however you want it. So let's get the other one working. If I can click on it. So it's upside down. It's very interesting. So since it's upside down, that would mean that we need to rotate the image in the opposite direction. So when we rotated the image in Gimp clockwise, we're going to need to do the same thing, but let's try it this way. We're just going to flip it to being on this side and see what happens. Which one's this one? Okay, so yeah, this one we're going to change, edit, and yeah, because it's on the bottom, let's try to see if we override it this way. Forcing it into place. Okay. Yeah, okay, now that works. I don't know why it decided to just not function the way it's supposed to, but yeah, that's basically how you make the wings. And then if you want some lower ones, kind of like how I did with these ones, you just place them at a lower point, and that's basically how you make wings in Vroid. I hope that has helped you in any type of way. If you like this video, give me a like, and it lets people see this video, and we will see you in the next one. Maybe I'll show you the finished copy or how I am creating this outfit in the next one. Other than that, I'll see you later. Bye!